G'day crew. In this video I'm going to cover another spot that I used to fish about 40 years ago. Since then I've used it as a shortcut between the north end of Peel and the Rainbow Channel, but I haven't fished it since then. I took another run down it in November of last year and I recorded the passage with the intention of including it in another video. But that didn't happen, so I'm making this short video about the shortcut and the fishing potential there. In the first part of the video I'm going to talk about using it as a shortcut, and then I'll go on to the fishing there. If you're looking for a shortcut between the Rainbow Channel and the northern side of Peel Island, then the Dialba Channel is an option. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but I'm going to stick with Dialba. I suspect that both Dialba and Coolooly are Aboriginal names, as there are many place names around the bay that are Aboriginal in origin. That being the case, it's very probable that my pronunciation is incorrect, but it is the pronunciation that I was told by older fishermen back in the day, so that's what I'm using. But a channel by any other name is still the same. I'd be a little bit cautious at the Peel end on a low tide, but other than that, it's deep enough for a trailer boat. I'm showing the track that I followed last time I went through it in black, and I got through without a problem. The minimum depth under my outboard was a little over a metre at the Peel end, and considerably more for the rest of the channel. If we look at the Peel end in a satellite image with the track overlaid on it, we can see that the way I used to exit the channel 40 years ago might not be the best now. I have a red line flashing over what appears to be a better exit now, or at least it looked like a better exit at the time the satellite image was taken. The sandbanks may have shifted a little bit since then. It's difficult to have the navionics and the Google map set to the same scale, but I've drawn a line that looks like it might be a better exit on the navionics chart as well. You can see that it's not quite the same on both maps. This is just the nature of shifting sandbanks and chart making. Even with a GPS and a sounder to help you, it still pays to be able to read the water. I'll play a video of my passage through the Dialba Channel last November. I'll put that on fast forward so it doesn't take too long, but the idea is to let you have a look at the actual depths under my boat as I went through. Just bear in mind that you have to stay somewhere near the deeper part of the channel to get these readings. Now that you've seen the channel used as a shortcut, you will have noticed that it's quite deep for the most part. I want to briefly mention the fishing from 40 years ago. As you can see, there are numerous oyster leases marked on the map. I have red circles flashing over them to make them clear even on a small screen. I've always found oyster leases and oyster beds to be excellent fish attractors. Nature's spads, as it were. When I was out in the big boat and anchored in the Rainbow Channel for a few days, I'd take the tender and fish some of the smaller channels off the Rainbow. I mentioned a few of them in my previous video, and this is the other main one that I liked. I used to catch whiting, flathead, the odd flounder, brim, and maybe some small squire there back in the day. I didn't catch any trophy fish here, in fact nothing really huge, just what I considered to be good eating size back in the day. I'll just also mention shovel-nosed sharks and small stingrays. They'd also frequent the area and they make good eating as well. Now the reason I didn't catch anything huge could have been because I was only using whiting hooks and anything larger either wasn't interested in my bait or broke the light line I was using. I mostly put that down to stingrays and maybe a larger shovel-nosed shark, but I guess it could have been anything. These days I just use it as a shortcut to other areas to fish. But if you're looking for some new whiting ground, this could be it. And 40 years ago is a long time, but I seem to remember that the best fishing was on the running up tide. And fishing any of these channels from the tender, my preference was always to drift when the conditions were favourable for that. I did catch fish on those occasions when I had to drop an anchor out, but I don't think I ever did quite as well as when I was drifting. Also keep an eye out for weed beds in the channel and fish around the edges of them. They can be very productive as well. And don't forget squid in this area, particularly at night with a light over the side to attract them. And on the subject of squid, there were various spots along the Rainbow Channel where a light shone into the water at night would attract so many squid that if I had a cast net and if I could throw it, I reckon I could have caught a couple of dozen at a time. As it was, I just used my trusty bow and arrow to shoot them one at a time. But that was 40 years ago. I don't know that they'd still be in such concentrations now. I haven't been there and looked for them at night for a long, long time. But I guess it's possible. Even if they're not in that sort of concentrations now, there's bound to be a few. I haven't managed to get out on the water since before Christmas, but I have been very busy, and you'll see some of that in some coming videos. But I do want to get out on the water before I show them. I'm still not 100% sure if I will get out on the water in time for the next video. I certainly hope I do. Until then, good fishing.